Let's discuss children's sex education. In today's world of uncertainty, it is becoming more difficult for parents to guide their children on sex education, especially with the advent and increased rate of technology. I am Coach Sarah, a relationship and family practitioner. Point number one: start teaching your child sex education once the child can understand nonverbal communication. And when I say nonverbal communication, at least the child is intelligent enough to either verbalize, this is what I need to ease myself, I need to eat this, daddy, mommy, and cannot verbalize a lot of things but can understand every actions you take. Once you have a child like that at home, you should take away every sex sin from that child's presence, and that includes you and your partner. Don't say sex sin has to do with television, formatting the phone, making it children friendly, and all that. But you and your partner must not make out in the presence of that child, because you never can tell the degree of damage that can do to the psychology of the child. Because has shown that children who had early exposure to sex sin are most likely going to experiment whatever they have seen with their fellow children, either at home with their siblings or in school with other people's children, or church, wherever they gather and see opposite sex, they may like to experiment what they have seen. Visual material which involve the channels you subscribe to, the kind of program you watch, then the gadget the child use. Sometimes parents make mistake of giving their children their own personal phone just to make them keep quiet or allow them to have some quiet time. But the mistake you make is that you have forgotten that children are experimental by nature. They explore. They have the capacity to know your phone beyond you as an adult. So be careful when you give them your phone to explore, and ensure that as you give them your phone to use, that you yourself does not have any sex sin in that phone. Otherwise, you will be exposing your child unduly, and before you know the harm you are doing to the child, it may be too late. I will recommend no phone, no smartphone or Android that is not educational, configured for the children. Do not buy a regular iPhone, regular iPad, regular smartphone for your kids that are not matured yet. Buy educational tools for them. That is highly recommended. But giving them a regular phone and everything that adults use can expose your children unduly to sex sin while they explore. These children are innocent, but because they are always inquisitive, they will like to know more about the function of the phone. They will like to know more about what they can get from this one. And you never can tell what these children can get exposed to. Point number two: teach your children their body parts. Teach them every private part of their body by their names. Do not shy away from it. Let the breast be called breast. Let their pubic area be called what it is. If it is a male, this is what it is. If it is a female, this is what it is. And then while you are at it, especially if you know you have a relative or guardian, nannies, or what have you around your homes that are not your own personal children, guide them that nobody in the world should have access to this part of your body, because they are your private parts and they need to be protected by you. They are yours. Your body belongs to God because you are a child of God. You teach them the basic knowledge they need to know, so that when an adult starts malhandling any part of their genitals, they may be able to open up to you and tell you that so adult just touched me this way. Because if you don't call them by names, they may not be able to express to you what happened. If you did not tell them that nobody have access or have the right to touch you on those parts of your body, they may not know. So it is important that you expose your children early enough once they can communicate. And this starts from age 2, when they can communicate well, to age 5. You teach them their body and teach them to defend their body. If anybody threatens you about anything, this is your father's house. If you take anything from me and the person want to tell me, it is okay. If the person says she want to kill me because that is the blackmail that most of these pedophiles use. They tend to, blackmail innocent children into allowing them to, you know, commit their evil intention towards them. So tell them how to communicate to you regardless of how much threat they are going through. Point number 3, always give them listening ears. I have seen a situation where a woman was married to, got divorced, married to a new guy, and this new guy kept taking advantage of her son. But each time the son want to open up to her, she will tell the child and allow him to play with you. The son will come to say, Mommy, I don't like the way Daddy is touching me. I don't like the way he plays with me. Can you tell him to stop touching me? I don't like it. The mother will just shout him away. Come on, will you shut up? Why will your father not play with you? Why should you be complaining because your dad is playing? Is it because he's your stepdad? Stop complaining unnecessarily. The woman will just take it up on the child and start yelling instead of listening. Do you know the amount of harm you have exposed your children to simply because you refuse to listen to them? Regardless of how busy you are. Yes, I know that a lot of mothers, a lot of fathers are too busy in today's world because recession is everywhere, and inflation rate and need to increase and double up the financial income is there. But regardless, as far as you have taken the decision to bring children to the world, you must be able to attend to their need. You must be able to listen when they have to talk, regardless of how trivial it is. There are times I come back home, I may be tired, having headache, worn out, and just want to catch a very simple nap. And my daughter will come, hey, Mommy, are you sleeping? Please, I want to tell you something. I will think it's something very important, but by the time they open their can I ask questions? You will not get tired. But in order to encourage her to keep coming back to talk to you, to establish that and communication energy, you must be able to take anything the child has to bring to discuss with you. If not, if you cut off communication between you and the child because you feel the child always brings something trivial to discuss with you, the child may not be able to discuss situations that matters when they arise. And that is so disheartening. Do you know that this man continued to molest that child until he became an adult and became traumatized simply because the mother refused to listen to him? And it is very unfortunate that today's children are going through so much. A lot of parents are clueless of the struggles their young children go through simply because they are not available. They are not readily available at home. They are not readily available to listen when they are at home. So parents, you need to listen more. If you naturally don't have capacity for listening, you have to develop that capacity. It is very, very important when and their sexuality. So please, parents, in case you have been lagging behind with your children, you have to find a way to activate your communication and listening skill. That will go a long way in your children's future. Point number 4, be suspicious of every adult around you, regardless of who they are. It simply means that you should ask questions anytime there are movements you don't understand. Ask questions. Be inquisitive. Want to know, you have to want to know what is going on. If your child is always discussing with this particular auntie in the room, don't say because she is a female, she will not be able to do anything to her. There are lesbians everywhere. But as far as that child is still under your protection, you must protect that child. And don't even say that because it is a guy, an uncle that is with your son in a room, that you're not supposed to know what is going on there. You need to know. If you don't ask, you don't have to ask questions. Once in a while, move around the house and you have to want to be interested on why your daughter or your son is always glued to this particular person. You have to know why your son and your child, your daughter, will always want to play with this particular uncle. You have to get the facts. You have to be factual. You have to be objective with understanding the kind of relationship adults are having with your children. And when your children are together in the room and so quiet, you have to check what is going on there. Because sometimes if you don't allow them access to all those sexual audiovisual materials, they may have come in contact with it somewhere. From uncles that come to the house, from aunties that want to take advantage of them. It's cool. You never can tell where. But in order to protect them, you must always keep an eye on them. Ask questions. What are you people doing in the room? Go to the room on your own, especially parents that leave television in the rooms of their children. It is actually not advisable. Beside the fact that they can sneak in any sexual material to watch in the midnight, they can equally sleep that their brain is being deprived of because of watching movie beyond the expected time is equally very wrong for their brain development. So even an adult need to catch up sleep. An adult that may have finished developing in every ramification need to catch up 7-8 hours quality sleep a day. Talk more of a child whose brain and memory is still developing. So parents should be careful on the kind of luxury they expose their children to, because some of them are unnecessary, especially television in the room of your children. No matter how much you have, regardless of how much you have, if you don't have a central control unit where every television and every station can go off by under your control, then there is no need of keeping television in their room. That can bring unnecessary exposure. Things you did not expose them to, they can get exposed to it in school. Be mindful of the kind of luxury you give your children. Some of them can affect their brain development, some of them can expose them unduly to harmful information or material they are not mature to access. Point number 5. This has to do with our teenage male children. I will always talk about them in a special way because there is a lot of misconception going around the world as a whole. Male children are ruggedly made, they cannot get pregnant and come and disgrace you. They nobody will want to take advantage of them. It's always the girl child that pedophiles will come for. Hey, people, listen. Wherever you are, whichever part of the world you are watching this, your male children are being taken advantage of just the way your female children can be taken advantage of. He has always known male gender to be a sexual partner. He has never encountered female partner in his life. What does that tell you? You want to go to the market, you want to go to work, you want to go to wherever. You see women with female children taking them to daycare or care for professional care. While parents with male children, leave them with the neighbor or just leave them in the house and the child will get unnecessarily exposed and taken advantage of by a male pedophiles, even to female pedophiles. Some children never recover even when they have become adults from activities like this. And so when they get that early exposure by male, the only thing that gives them attraction and sexual pleasure is when they see their fellow male in a particular way. The female may never come to mind. The female may never, you know, exist in their subconscious because they have already been exposed to sex as man to a fellow male. And that is unfair. Very, very unfair. Parents have been failing their male children because of the cliche, simple cliche that male children are rugged and strong and nobody can take advantage of them. And that is unfair. Parents should sit up when it comes to caregiving for their male children. Stop leaving them carelessly. Stop leaving them to people you don't know just because they are male. Stop leaving them alone in the house simply because they are male and nobody will take advantage of them in your own mind and thinking. These children are being molested on daily basis. The world has become more chaotic than ever before. A lot of frustrated adults that were taken advantage of in their own time want to take advantage of other children. Some of them never recovered, and you may not blame them. The parent too may not be blamed because they may have done it out of ignorance. But I am educating you today that every parent needs to sit up, whether your child is a male or female. You need to guide and protect your children. You need to protect them. That maximum protection they need, you need to give to them. If you are not available, take them to a professional daycare center where they can be cared for until you come back. I'm begging you, parents. And before you take them to a daycare center, you should equally make your research and be sure that they are professional enough to care for your children. Protect your male children. Protect your female children. Protect them. Don't say because this lady is an auntie, I will go and keep my daughter with her. She is safe. We have a lot of lesbians everywhere that are looking for any child they can take advantage of. Parents, protect your children, please. The last on the list for today, parents should be free and bold enough to communicate with their children about sex. Who can do it better than you? Nobody. If you are unable to communicate to them about their sexual feelings, these things are natural. Don't say because you are highly spiritual, you don't know how to start, you don't know how to start presenting case discussion, sex discussion to your children. You must find a way, man. You must find a way because it is either you or nobody. And if you don't do it, people out there will do it and do it the wrong way. So please, parents, you must learn to teach your children sex education. You must learn to relate to them, open up to them. You have to, be accommodating enough because children are very free. That is why I love them. They are very free. The young adults may tell you, mommy, when I feel like, when they reach puberty, the boys will have wet dream, the ladies will start menstruating, and the topic of sex education, we have to shift from just protect your child and don't allow anybody to touch you to having real sex conversation. And then that is when the need to start having opposite sex as boyfriend and girlfriend start arising. So if you are not bold enough to discuss, it is not the right time to do this. If you do this, it is good for you to open up to them to discuss the most embarrassing sex topic they have to bring to you. You cannot shy away from it. The only thing you may not talk about is when they bring up a topic that you don't know how to handle or you are not really conversant with, you can take permission to make further research and get back to them. And feel free to always tell them that we are not ready to discuss this yet until so time. So please, parents, I'm going to be rounding off with encouraging you to be there for your children. They are gift from God Almighty. They are gifts and blessings from God. And you have to do everything possible to protect their life. You have to protect your own integrity. You have to protect their emotions, their future, their life as a whole. Do not be too busy not to attend to your children. Do not be too busy making money that you that is meant to care for them and end up losing your children. You have to learn to balance the equation at all times. Balance your work and family, in a way that nothing should stand on the way of the other. Balance your life as a parent, especially mothers. I don't believe that both father and mother should be too busy at the same time. If a mother is too busy, the father should get a job that is lesser, that is less busy. If a father is too busy, the mother must get a job that permits her to be there with her children at all times. Once they finish from school, they should be with you. Please, parents, attend to your children's needs. Protect them. Protect them. It is not optional. You brought them to the world. The moment you take the decision to bring them to the world, it has become compulsory. It has become an obligation you owe them. They shouldn't beg for your attention. They shouldn't beg for you to guide them. They shouldn't beg for you to teach and protect them. It is not optional. Protection from a parent to children should never be contended with by anything.